leg focused training split, I'm gonna show you how to blow out your lower body. All right, guys and girls, with the resurgence of wellness, bodybuilding, men's classic, everyone, or a lot of people at least, want big legs now. And that could not make me happier. It makes me smile on the inside because that's something I take pride in as a coach and something in the personal training world. Like, I loved when people came to me and said, Chris, I want to make my legs bigger. It didn't matter if it was a guy or a girl. Like, I loved it because that meant we're going to squat a lot, we're going to leg press, we're going to lunge, we're going to push you mentally and physically to the brink. And the reward of that is the carryover in all your other training sessions. So if you think, oh man, like Chris just unlocked a new level of training for me on leg day, why can't you apply those same principles to back and chest and shoulders and arms? And the answer is you can. So with leg training and leg focused splits, I've seen them done all types of ways. And to me, for most guys, and I say guys specifically because I'm going to delineate that that's a completely different video for females. For guys, I like 2 leg days if you're trying to bring up your lower body. Now for females in the wellness category, I have them train legs 3 times because we have a glute day. But again, that's a whole other video. For this, it's going to be a leg focused training split. So the first thing I tend to like to have them do is I'll break their legs into 2 different days. And day 1 is going to be an adductor and quad day, and I'll get Chaz to link one of those example workouts here. And then you come back 3 or 4 days later and you have a hamstring and glute day, and I'll get him to link another one of the videos here. So this strategy works really, really well because as opposed to going to the gym and thinking, man, I got to train hamstrings and then adductors and then quads and then glutes and then finish with some kind of RDL, that's a lot to take on, especially if you know that you have to push intensity to the next level to bring that muscle up because it's lagging or underdeveloped for your standards. So breaking it into saying, okay, cool, like I just have to train quads and adductors today, or I just have to train hamstrings and glutes. That's a lot more mentally, it's less overwhelming. Trust me. So let me talk about like what those workouts will look like. If I'm gonna do quads and adductors, I'm always gonna warm up with some kind of leg curl. So typically what I do is during my warm-up sets of adductor, I'll superset that with either a lying or a seated leg curl. And those are all non-fatiguing, those aren't work sets. I'm just doing sets of 10 on the leg curl just to get warm. Then I'm going over and doing my warm-up sets for my adductor machine. So I'm gonna probably do 3 rounds of that little combo, and then I'm gonna drop the leg curl altogether and get into probably 1 to 2 more feeder sets before I do a top set and back off of the adductor machine. So the goal there is to just completely wipe the inside or the inner thigh, right? And if you know and have been following this channel, you know every leg day for me, for the most part, includes the adductor machine. So that's where we're gonna start with the first working exercise. Now, next up, I tend to like to go to leg press. And with leg press, since it's at a quad and adductor day, I'm gonna do at least a squat or a leg press that's a little bit more adductor biased. So for me on the leg press, like my feet low on the platform and wide to about just outside of hip width, and my toes at like 11 and 1. So when I'm sinking my knees towards my chest, outside my rib cage, however you wanna look at that, I'm still getting a ton of adductor work. And I'm gonna pyramid up in weight there and get to a top set of anywhere between 10 and 20 reps. And then I'll do a back off or a drop set or some sort of rest pulse as the main working components of the leg press. Now, what I tend to like to do is if I do a back off here, is I'll actually change my foot stance. So let's say I get up to 8 plates a side on leg press, I'll strip it to 4 or 5 plates, and then instead of my feet being here, I move them here, and that's to just target my quad sweep. And to give me a little bit different stimulus on the leg press, so and take a little bit of focus off the adductor, because at that point, they're probably pretty trashed. So from there, I like to get into a squatting pattern. Hack squats to me are a go-to because it feels great for my low back. I can reverse band it. I can load a bunch of weight on there. I can sink those deep to where my hamstrings are sitting on my calves and get the most bang for my buck. Now, if you wanted to barbell squat, yoke bar, spider bar, by all means have at it. If you wanted a Smith machine squat, if you wanted to use a heel wedge and a yoke bar, this is a perfect opportunity to do that. So again, the third exercise in rotation to me is going to be some sort of squat pattern. It can, again, if you don't like to do a barbell or a hack squat, or your gym doesn't have a good one, you can use a pendulum squat, a power squat. There's all different types of things. But the main thing I'm looking for here is a full range of motion, really deep, sink these, build up. And then in terms of like sets and reps, I like top set and back off here, or I like volume. So either one of those are going to be a great spot for the squat movement. Now, next up is going to be something for just absolute mega pump. A lot of people like to lean towards a leg extension here because it's a perfect fit and perfect time for it, in my opinion. So you can do a bunch of reps, you can do a drop set, you can do a rest pulse set here with the leg extension. It's just all I need is massive pump in the quads specifically. And then the last thing to finish this day is I tend to like some sort of single leg exercise. I'd probably put a heel wedge Bulgarian split squat here would be perfect. Or we could do like walking lunges and really focus on short strides, putting my knee over my toe with every step. Two great options. So that's what the quad and adductor day would look like. For the hamstring day, it's gonna be really simple. I like 3 exercises for hamstrings that are all leg curl based. So standing, seated, lying, and then an RDL to stretch it all out. And then I like 2 exercises for glutes. So I'm definitely gonna do a barbell or machine glute bridge. And then I'm probably gonna finish with either a rounded back hyper, or I could go back to like a single leg walking lunge or a split squat that is more glute biased. So this time I'm gonna stack my knee over my ankle, not get a ton of knee flexion, and really blow those glutes up. So that's what those 2 days will look like. As far as the training split goes, I actually like to start with day 1. And day 1 for you can be any day of the week, it doesn't matter. So just think about these in terms of days. Day 1 could be Monday, day 1 could be Sunday or Saturday, doesn't matter. So day 1, I'm gonna hit that hamstring and glute early in the week. That's also gonna prime me for the later quads and adductors. So start out with hamstrings and glutes on day 1. Day 2 is gonna be chest and shoulders. Now, this is when I'm gonna probably need a day off. Then I come back and we're gonna do 3 days in a row here. So we're gonna go a back day, then we're gonna go into quads and adductors, and then we're gonna finish with arms, and then off and repeat. So the one thing that I really want to focus on here, guys, is if you notice when I was laying out the workout for the hamstrings and glutes, you notice I had an RDL there. When I do my back day before quads and adductors, I do not, listen to my words, do not want to do any type of deadlift, rack pull, or really heavily taxing my erectors, because I need those to be strong and stable for when I train quads and adductors the next day. So if I do want to get after my lower back on my back day, even though I'm doing heavy RDLs on a hamstring glute day, probably a reverse hyper is going to be the best thing. 3 sets of 20 on the end to finish my back up and then do some abs. That's how I set that up if I'm going to split my legs into 2 separate days, meaning quads and adductors, hamstrings and glutes. So is there some carryover there? Of course. But that is probably, in my opinion, one of the most effective ways to grow a lower body. Now, there is a second variation that John taught me years ago, and that's where we have a heavy, hard leg day, and then we have a pump leg day. So this can work well too. He did this for me, and honestly, it helped blow my legs out. So both of these ways can be effective. So if you think about this, the day 1 being the hard and heavy leg day, this is gonna be where I try to use the most amount of weight possible and use a ton of intensity techniques. I'll start with a leg curl. It can be seated or lying, it doesn't matter. And what I wanna focus on here, guys, is I want to work up to a hard 8 to 10, do a triple drop set, do partials and iso holds. It's going to blow it up. The next exercise is going to be an adductor machine, because I'm heavily believe in that, right? So I'm going to do adductor, top set back off, or a ton of volume. I might do 3 sets of 20. Next up, I'm probably going to do a John Meadows leg extension warm up, and that's just to warm my quads up, get a lot of blood in there. Then I'm going to just hammer leg press and then hack squat. So top set back off, triple drop. I need tons of intensity. I mean, when you get off of the leg press, your quads and whole lower body should be screaming at you. I mean, I need pump and pain. Next, hack squats. This could be 1.5. This could be a rest pause set. This could be top set and back off, slow negative, slow positive. I mean, again, throw the kitchen sink at this. This is the mass builder, this is the money. After that, I'm probably gonna do a Bulgarian split squat of death, and then I'm gonna finish with an RDL. So 3 sets of 8 with a moderate load. So if you think about that in totality, it is straight domination. You're gonna need probably 3 to 4 days at minimum to recover from that. So then I'm gonna come back with a leg pump day. And the most favorite one he ever had me do, I'm gonna share this with you guys now, because I really truly believe in it, is you would do a leg curl and you do 3 sets of 12, 10, and 8. Then you go to the adductor machine, do the exact same thing, 12, 10, 8. Then you would go over and do squats, but do them explosively with short rest periods. So I'm doing sets of 6 on the barbell squat. And you could do this with hack squats, you could do it with the Smith machine, you could do it reverse bandit if you needed to. And you just do sets of 6 up until you lose explosion and power against the bar. So what that looked like, we typically would start with 135 on the bar. We go 135, 185, 205, 225, 250, 275, 300, 315. And then typically for me around 365, I'd start to lose bar pop. So finish there. Walk away. That just feels good. You're not getting overly taxed. You're doing sets of 6. My training partner and I would just, I go, he go, change the weight, and then just you repeat that until you lose bar speed. And then to finish the day, you would pick a machine that you just feel connected to. That could be a leg extension, a leg press. There was a horizontal leg press we used a lot that was just pin selected, and you do 3 to the 20. And it's just pumped like a piston. The leg press there always felt the best to me because it was just a horizontal push. I was just pumping reps like a piston, and it felt great. And I'd walk out of that day not feeling beat up, and I'd actually feel primed to do my heavy leg day in 3 days. So that's how you could do a heavy day and a pump day. Again, it's all solely based on your recovery, and all you can do to figure out which one of those is best for you is to try both and give them your equal and hard attempt. So if you look at that, leg focused leg days, 2 different ways to do that. And I'm telling you, apply effort, energy, make sure your form is spot on, and just run towards that pain. That's the secret with legs, guys. If you want big, massive lower body, it's gonna take a lot of pain and a lot of effort, and I promise you will not regret all of that when you're walking around with 32-inch quads and hamstrings. If you like this video, like, share, subscribe. Until next time, Chris on the CB.